The concept of paradigm shift revolves around the way we view society, its function and underlying meaning. Historically, Ethiopian society was based on personal experience, traditional beliefs, and social norms guided by traditional authority figures. Modern education, however, introduced new ways of thinking in Ethiopia, such as the idea of democracy and dialectical materialism that led to the rejection of traditional values. Unfortunately, this paradigm shift had negative implications for the country, resulting in the loss of cultural heritage, social networks, organic economy, architecture, science, and art. Today, we find ourselves unable to recognize the culture, society, and heritage that once made Ethiopia a formidable ancient empire. The issue at hand is that globalization has left Ethiopia vulnerable to external influences, which has resulted in a loss of independence and confidence in our ability to solve problems. Education, once considered the key to preserving our heritage, has left us disconnected from our reality. Scholars and academics are detached from society, their outlooks too abstract, theoretical, and cluttered in jargon. Ultimately, what we need is to pause and reassess everything we believe in, from education and architecture to our values and beliefs. Rather than remaining trapped in a cycle of capitalism during the weekdays and repenting over our actions on Sundays, we need to introspect and remember who we really are as individuals and as a society, and decide what we really want to become. Only then can we hope to overcome the disadvantages of globalization and return to a more independent and confident society. In summary, it is time for a paradigm shift in the way we view education, culture, society, and ourselves, to rediscover our authentic selves and our potential to succeed in a rapidly changing world. Mainstream science is operating under outdated assumptions, despite new discoveries. Ironically, modern science is becoming more like religion that it once set out against. And along with it is the academic mindset, the priesthood, so to speak. Rupert Sheldrake. In this book, The Science Delusion, in 2011, criticizes modern science for being dogmatic and for making a number of assumptions are not justified. He calls these assumptions the 10 dogmas of science. Materialism. The universe is made up of nothing but matter and energy. Physicalism. Everything that happens in the universe can be explained in terms of physical laws. Mechanism. The universe is a machine that works according to predetermined laws. Reductionism. Complex systems can be fully explained in terms of their parts. Objectivity. Science is objective and value-free. Certainty. Science can produce certain knowledge about the universe. Progress. Science is a progressive enterprise that is constantly moving towards truth. Authority. Scientists are the experts on the nature of reality. Skepticism. Anything that cannot be measured or observed does not exist. Closed-mindedness. Science is not open to new ideas or possibilities. Although science has made great strides in advancing our understanding of the world around us, it can be argued that the academic mindset has become dogmatic in its adherence to these obsolete theories, in the process losing sight of reality and practicality. As a result, so do the education. These dogmatic outlooks prevent us from considering alternative explanations for natural phenomena. As Rupert Sheldrake suggests, we need to adopt a more open and holistic approach to science, one that is not limited by these dogmas. The academic mindset is often associated with a proactive, growth-oriented approach to learning that emphasizes personal responsibility, discipline, and a willingness to learn and adapt. People with this mindset excel at managing their time and seeking out resources to achieve their academic goals. However, its linear and rigid approach to problem solving can be problematic when applied to complex, real-world problems that require a more dynamic and contextual approach. The education system in Ethiopia is a case in point. The problems it faces are numerous and interconnected, from inadequate infrastructure to flawed curricula. The root of these problems can be traced back to a confused and adulterated worldview that has left us without a clear sense of our own identity and values. We have imported religious, political, and cultural values from other countries, leading to a crisis of identity and sense of purpose. Moreover, the world itself is facing a crisis of unprecedented magnitude, one that calls for radical changes in the way we think and perceive reality. In order to address these challenges, we need to move beyond the traditional academic mindset, with its rigid methodology and dogmatic reliance on theories that may no longer apply. Instead, we need to adopt a more dynamic and contextual way of thinking, such as that embodied in the field of architecture, design. Design thinking is a creative problem-solving approach that emphasizes critical analysis, imagination, iteration, and a methodical decision-making process that places the problem itself at the center of the inquiry. In contrast to the academic research approach, design thinking is better suited to addressing complex, real-world problems that require a more dynamic approach. Reinventing the education system in Ethiopia will require a paradigm shift in the way we think and perceive the world. We must be willing to embrace new perspectives, to challenge old assumptions, and to be willing to take risks. Only by doing so can we begin to address the complex challenges we face today. In conclusion, we must recognize that change must come from within. It is only by adopting a new mindset that we can begin to address the problems that face us as individuals, as a society, and as a planet. By embracing a more dynamic and contextual approach, such as that embodied in design thinking, we can begin to envision a brighter, more sustainable future. This design research project, Paradigm Shift Through Architecture, is such pursuit to creating effective and sustainable education system for architecture and others by taking the first step to a holistic approach to the problem.
You've probably heard that Ethiopia is one of the countries with the lowest average IQ level. But did you know how deep the problem lies? From only 33% of children in schools making it to secondary schools, are the 90% of 10-year-olds in this country that don't even know how to read. What about Ethiopia's identity? It is as bright as the daylight that Ethiopia is a land rich of cultures and identity as a nation. But the question raises, do you see this identity in its sky-high buildings? You see, other nations are well known for their buildings, attracting tourists. But why does Ethiopia only have a few to be numbered? Why does the modern side of the country not seem to be organic in its expression of personality through its architecture? The point I'm trying to make is that the educational situation of Ethiopia is dire, and that is not foreign to our ears. Yet a certain field being deprived of the proper education it deserves highly impacts the identity of this country. Yes, as you've heard it earlier, architecture education in Ethiopia is at its lowest. And in this video, we will go through our solution as stated on this research, after first introducing our problem, and at last, we will hear the experiences gained from this research from the students themselves.
አመሰግናለሁ። ስሜ ሉል ጸጋይ ይባላል። የአራተኛ ዓመት አርኪቴክቸር ኤንድ አርባን ፕላኒንግ ተማሪ ነኝ እና መጀመሪያ ፓራዳይም ሺፍት ምን እንደሆነ ከማውራታችን በፊት ፓራዳይም ምንድነው የሚለውን ነገር ትርጉም ለመስጠት ያህል ፓራዳይም ማለት አንድ ነገር የሚሰራበት አስተሳሰብ እና ከበስተጀርባ ያለው አሰራር ሲሆን ይሄም በእንግሊዘኛው ኖርም ብለን ዲፋይን የምናደርገው ነገር ነው እና ፓራዳይም ሺፍትን ስንል አንድ ነገር የሚሰራበትን ጽንሰ ሐሳቡን መቀየር ወይም ማስተካከል የሚለውን ትርጓሜ ልንሰጠው እንችላለን ማለት ነው። ለዛ ይሄንን ማህበረሰቡን የሚረዱ ለማህበረሰቡ ቅርብ የሆኑ ፕሮፌሽናሎችን ማፍራት ግድ ይለናል ማለት ነው። ይሄ ማለት አንድ አርኪቴክቸር ስራ ሰክሰስፉል እንዲሆን ማለት ነው። ለዛ ይሄንን የሚያደርጉ ፕሮፌሽናሎችን ማብቃት ግዴታ ስለሆነ ያሁን የምንለው ፓራዳይም ሺፍት አስፈላጊ ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ይሄንን ማድረግ ከቻልን ደግሞ የምናፈራቸው ፕሮፌሽናሎች ማህበረሰቡን ከመረዳትም አልፈው ማህበረሰቡን ወደፊት ሊያራምዱ ማህበረሰቡን ሊመሩ የሚችሉ ይሆናሉ ብለን እናስባለን። አመሰግናለሁ።
ኢትዮጵያ በካልቸር በሂስትሪ ብዙ ያላትና ትልቅ ሀገር ነች አይደል? ግን ያንን ትልቅነትና ብዙ ያላት ነገር ትውልድ ውስጥ ወይም ደግሞ የሚቀረጽበት ስኩል ሲስተም ውስጥ አስገብተነዋል ወይ? ለእኔ አይመስለኝም። ምክንያቱም እኔ አልፌበታለሁ ከሃይ ስኩል እና ትንሽ ኮሌጅ ላይ ምንድነው ለእኛ ለራሳችን እግር የሚሆን ጫማ ፊት አድርገዋል ወይ? ማለትም የራሳችን ካልቸር አለን፣ የራሳችን ማንነት አለን። ለዛ ፊት የሚያደርግ ስኩል ሲስተም ፈጥረናል ወይ? የትምህርት ስነስርዓት ፈጥረናል ወይ? ለእኔ አይመስለኝም። በዚህ ፓራዳይም ሽፍት ላይ ምንድነው በጣም የተገነዘብኩት ነገር ሞስትሊ ከአንድ አስተማሪ ቆሞ ሌሎችን ተማሪዎች ከሚያስተምረው በላይ ያለውን የእርስ በርስ ያለውን ኢንተራክሽን ከሌሎች ማለት ተለቅ ካሉ ሰዎች ጋር ካሉ ተማሪዎች ጋር ያለን ኢንተራክሽን እንዴት ያለ ትልቅ ማለት ለእኔ ጥቅም ጠቅሞኛል በግሌ ስናገር። ሌላኛ ነገር ደግሞ ሁሌ ሃይስኩልም ላይ ስንማር ነገር ይሰጡናል አይደለ? ያንን ነገር ሰጥተውን ግን ያንን ነገር እንድትቀበልን እንዴት ኢምፕሊመንት እንደምናደርገው እንዴት እንደምንተገብረው እንዴት በዛ ነገር ሶልቭ እንደምናደርግ ምክንያቱም ነገራችን ውስጥ ፕሮብሌም አለ። ያንን ፕሮብሌም እንዴት ነው ሶልቭ የምናደርገው እሱን አላሳይም። ስለዚህ በዚህ ፓራዳይም ሽፍት ላይ የተቀበልነው ነገር አለ፣ የሚያስፈልገን ነገር ይሰጠናል። ግን ያንን የተሰጠን ነገር ግን መያዝ ብቻ ሳይሆን we have minds አይደለ? ያንን ማይንድ ተጠቅመን እንዴት ፕሮብሌም ሶልቭ እንደምናደርገው እንዴት ችግሩን ፈተን ከዛ ላይ ሌክ ሞር ቤተር ኢትዮጵያ እንዴት እንሰራ ተምሬታል።
The problems stated above more or less encompass the ideas of the majority on the flaws of education and architectural education. We've also seen how this research plans to diminish this problem with its concept of paradigm shift through architecture. Now, let's see the product of this ongoing research as presented by its subject.
እሺ ስሜ መልካም ሲሳይ ይባላል። የዩኒቨርሲቲ አራተኛ ዓመት የአርኪቴክቸር እና አርባን ፕላኒንግ ተማሪ ነኝ እና ፓራዳይም ሺፍት የሚለው ፕሮጀክት ላይ ያለኝን ሀሳቦች ለመስጠት ነው የመጣሁት። አርኪቴክቸር ኤጁኬሽን ስፔሻሊ ከወርክ ኢንቫይሮንመንት ጋር ያለው ሪሌሽንሺፕ ካይንድ ኦፍ ዲስኮኔክት ያለ ነገር ነው። ማለትም እንደ አርኪቴክት ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ ሪል ወርልድ ላይ ላለው ነገር እንደምትዘጋጅ ማድረግ ሲገባው አክቹዋሊ ያ ነገር እንደዛ ይገባ ነበረ። ኢንተርንሺፑ ደግሞ ወደዛ የሚያዘጋጀን አርኪቴክቸራሊ ኢንተሌክቹዋል የምንሆንበትን ነገር ከፍ እንዲያደርግ የሚያደርገን ነገር ነው ሲገባው ካይንድ ኦፍ ግን ምንማረው ነገር ከሪል ወርልድ ጋር የማይገናኝ ኢንተርንስ መሆን ደግሞ ሪትሬን የምንደረግበት አይነት ሲቹዌሽን ያለው ፓራዳይም ሽፍት ላይ ያለኝ ኤክስፒሪየንስ አይኔን የከፈተ ነው። ማለትም አርኪቴክቶች በጣም ብዙ ኦቨርሉክ የሚያደርጓቸው ፕሮብሌሞች እንዳሉ በዛው ልክ ደግሞ እንደ አርኪቴክቶች ደግሞ በጣም ብዙ ሶልቭ ልናደርጋቸው የምንችላቸው ፕሮብሌሞች እንዳሉ ነው ያየሁበት። በመጨረሻም ፓራዳይም ሺፍት ለምንድን ነው የሚያስፈልገን የሚለውን ነገር ስናይ ሲምፕሊ ለልጆቻችን የተሻለ ፊውቸር ዲዛይን ለማድረግ ወይም ለልጆቻችን የተሻለ ነገር ለመቅረጽ የሚጠቅመን ቱል ነው ብዬ አስባለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።
እዚህ ፓራዳይም ሺፍት ሪሰርች ላይ መሳተፌ ሁለት ነገሮችን ረድቶኛል። አንደኛ እኔ ያለኝን ስኪል እንዳወጣው ማይንዴ እንድጠቀም ኦፖርቹኒቲ ከፍቶልኛል። ሁለተኛውና ዋነኛው ነገር ግን ገና በልጅነት አይምሮዬ በጣም ብዙ ነገሮችን ሀገሬ ላይ መለወጥ ፈልግ ነበር እና እያደግኩኝ ስመጣ ግን አይ ፊል ምንም ነገር መለወጥ እንደማልችል እዚህ ሀገር ላይ እና ሪሰርቾችን ሳይ ምናምን ነገር ሁሉም በተለይ እዚህ ሀገር ላይ የተሰሩ ሪሰርቾች የሼልፍ ማወቂያ የሚሆኑት እና እዚህ ሪሰርች ላይ ግን ስገባ እና ስሰራ አይ ፊል አይ ካን ዱ ኤኒቲንግ ምንም ነገር አያቆመኝም። አይ ካን ቼንጅ ብዙ አይነት ፕሮብሌሞችን እዚህ ሀገር ላይ እና በጣም ሞቲቬት አድርጎኛል። ማይንድሴቴንም ለውጦልኛል።
The students above are only a few of the many that have been positively influenced by the works of this research. They have stated how they found this new method of learning to be far better than any other they've ever experienced. In conclusion, I believe that the above interviews provide in a nutshell the essence of this research, which is to bring this much needed change to the education of Ethiopia.
whispering secrets in the air. Hearts are filled with anticipation for a future beyond compare. Wonders where the sun forever shines. A nation waits in eager silence as time begins to unwind. All the winds of change are blowing, whispering secrets in the air. Hearts are filled with anticipation for a future beyond